Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Thursday, June 16th, 2016. My name is Rich, and with me once again is Bijan. How you making out?
I'm all right, man. It's a rough week for everybody out here in America. My thoughts and prayers go out to everybody here in Orlando. Really tough situation, but we're gonna plow through it. And I have a lot of friends in the LGBT community, and they're all affected by it. But we're a strong nation, man.
Yeah, that was quite the thing, and especially I also have friends in the community, and strangely enough, in Orlando, and they are safe, thankfully. So that was a little bit of a scary moment, but we're here. We're going to push through, and we're going to celebrate our episode 50, actually. So,
nice.
So, yeah, pretty excited. It's been almost a year since we started. We're going to go through the Indianapolis Qualifier. We're going to talk about the viral video that's out right now of the T-Rex. It's actually like the T-Rex 2.0 at this point.
So awesome.
Yeah, and the 24 before was Megan Martin. That was a cool surprise. So we'll be going over that video and the crashing the course with the disc runner.
Man, let's get into it then.
So jumping right into it, we've got, actually right off the bat, what did you think of the new obstacles? Like we had the disc runner and the flywheels, man. They were pretty cool. Dude,
I gotta say, this might be my favorite course this season. I really liked the first episode's course, but man, everything about this course was just so awesome. Everything I love about American Ninja Warrior. They were creative. They're visually just stunning, right? And they were hard. They were legit, like really hard. I was like, is anybody gonna pass this course? Like the level of difficulty for this course was just crazy. Not just that, this is just the qualifiers, man. Can you imagine what it's gonna look like during the finals?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. I liked these obstacles. I thought they were creative, they were different, they worked different muscle groups than they might be used to. They had to swing in different ways and move in different ways. It really tested their skills, not their muscle memory of obstacles that they've done 100 times, right? It's definitely a good change.
Yeah, and it still hit all the groups that they try to hit on, like one balance obstacle, a grip obstacle, like all the different things, even the transition obstacle. But yet they were still hard and creative, and I just really appreciated that.
Yeah, and there was they've had a lot of big guys on this season. Have you noticed that? Like there's been a few every episode they seem to have not just one guy, they've got like 2 or 3 guys that are 200 plus pounds.
Hey, they're opening it up to like all different types of walks of life, like before it was like the skinny, free runners and rock climbers. Now, women are on it, bigger guys are on it, older people are on it. I guess all that's left are younger people, and I don't know if we're gonna get that, but maybe we'll get like we have a lot of grandpa ninjas. Maybe we'll get a grandma ninja. Jesse Grass' mom, is she gonna do it?
There we go. But yeah, getting into the actual runs, we had the first guy was Brandon Denson. And this guy is one of the bigger guys, 240-pound football coach, diabetic. He had the little things for the insulin pump, just like we've seen one of the other ninjas has. He took a bunch of swings on the steps, but he did make it through, and he almost made the rolling log, but he just fell back into the water. I thought he had it there, but he just didn't quite make it.
Yeah, I mean, not much to say about that one. Just messed up.
So moving on, we had Natalia Klewisnevska. Hope I got that right.
Better than I can say it.
She's on the U.S. national kickboxing team. She was going for a redemption on the quintuple steps and didn't quite get the redemption, unfortunately. She ended up falling on the floating steps again. It was
just plop. Third step, man.
I didn't see it coming. I thought, okay, here's great. We can get a little minor redemption. Someone can get past the quintuple steps, and no, didn't happen.
Man. Those steps must be her Achilles heel. Like, I don't know if she's just, like, not good at all the obstacles, but that opening obstacle, man, she just can't get past it. It's really interesting, too, because she's what do they say, like a champion kickboxer? Like, she's really athletic. So, I don't know. Maybe she just needs to train on these, like figure out what she's doing wrong. And from the looks of it, she's pulling her weight far, far too back. But that's like tidbitty, stuff.
Yeah, I think that's exactly from what I remember. When she jumped across, she was kind of leaning back and she just couldn't grip. There's nowhere really to grip very well on those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, she didn't make it again. I'd like to see her come back. I'd like to see her get past the steps, man. That would be nice to see at least.
I guess, man. For me, when we have all these people applying for the show, you fail on the first obstacle twice in a row. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's
maybe
probably
ANW is not for you.
Okay, how about this? I'd like to see her send us a video of her doing it. I think that would be... I would love to see her do it.
That's better.
There we go. We'll go with that. Next, we had Eric Tsitsima. There's some tough names, this one. He's a turkey farmer. I love that segment. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. What about his arm length, though? Didn't they say he had, insanely, long arms?
Yeah, you could see how long they were, but I love they gave a stat to kind of put it in perspective. He's 6'2", but he has the arms of somebody that's 6'10".
Jeez.
That's a pretty big difference.
Dude should be in MMA. Could you imagine?
Yeah. I have the opposite. I'm 5'6", and I have the arms of a 5 foot, I don't know.
So you're straight up T-Rex status.
Yeah, I am totally T-Rex. And so he went out on the flywheels. He was so far away. That was what worried me, was this guy with those long arms didn't reach the second flywheel. I thought, oh God, this is going to knock out the whole field.
I wasn't worried. His technique was terrible. I think Akbar even commented on it, but he choked up with his, this is the one time you don't want to have L's on
that's
something.
The next guy. That's the next guy you're thinking of.
No, this guy did it too.
Oh, did he? He had the L's going too?
He had the L's where he just didn't get swing at all, and he was choked up on it where he didn't get the distance with his body. So when he swung, he just didn't swing enough. I mean, your arms can only make up so much of poor technique, but I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, the next guy. So they had the Indy drivers there, which I was a little iffy on at first, especially since they seemed determined to show all of them. But they did pretty well.
Mind them.
Yeah, it was actually pretty entertaining. I thought they were really good.
Yeah. Because I think it's because they actually took it seriously. We see on so many shows athletes coming from different organizations, and they just don't really take it seriously, or they don't really care. These guys actually had fun, and they actually committed to the course. It's not something where they spent 5 minutes on a video hyping them up, and then they failed the first or second obstacle. These guys actually tried, so I have no problem with it.
Yeah, some of them are rock climbers, and they have their own ninja gyms at home, or CrossFit gyms, I think they called them. So yeah, I mean they're serious athletes. There's no question. So this guy Joseph, he took a few tries on the steps. Then he took his shirt off on the log. I was like, oh my God, these guys are just as bad as some of the other ninjas. They're going to start doing this now. But then they made a good point, right? That'll help with the grip on the log. So he made it all the way to the flywheels, but he couldn't make it through there. And that was when Akbar made the comment, this is the one place where you don't want to keep your L's.
Yeah. I think they might have been victims of just going too early in the night, so to speak. I think later on, a lot of the athletes realize the better technique of doing it, where they lâché with full-on extended arms.
Yeah, that's possible for sure.
Yeah, because everything else you would want to have, the L's with the arms and doing a lâché. It's just with this particular obstacle. And by the way, man, what's the name of this obstacle? It's so good. Oh man, flywheels, is that it?
Flywheels, yeah.
God, it was so good. I love this obstacle. Just the fact that it's not something where it's 3 wheels and they're all stationary, so you already know how to do it once you get to the second one. They actually switch it up where the third one, it's kind of like a pendulum where you have to use your core to just swing your body forward and back. And man, could you imagine you're already holding on with your fingertips on only an inch surface, but plus that you have to use your core to kick forward and backwards 5 times to just get enough swing. Such an awesome creative obstacle, man. I love what they did with this course. Yeah,
the way that third one swung, it really, some of them seemed to get just an unbelievable amount of momentum. I don't know what they were doing differently, but some seemed to get it no problem, and others totally they were throwing their bodies back and forth, but they just were doing it in the wrong way, I guess. I really don't know what the technique is.
It's timing. Because it's a pendulum and not stationary, it's not something where you can just kick your body forward and backward. It's something where you have to keep your body forward for an extended period of time, and then you kick backward for an extended period of time. So you actually have to hold up your legs backwards and forwards with your core, and that's where the difference is that you actually have to. There's a lot of technique and intelligence involved with doing this, and I love it. And I think if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to have a really tough time with that.
All right, and then we moved on to Michaela Kirsch. She's a climber. She was placed 5th in the world. I didn't see that coming because she just looked like a young kid, right? Like, just totally thought she was a climbing coach for kids. She's a friend of Megan Martin's, which that seems to be the ongoing theme this season, isn't it? Like, oh, it's a friend of this popular ninja.
Hey, it's networking. Yeah, I know somebody. But how old is she? She looked like she was straight out of high school, right?
Yeah, I don't think they said her age, or I didn't know it if they did. But yeah, she can't be that old.
No, hang on. Let me try to find, because usually they have the age when they start.
So yeah, she stumbled on the steps and she just kind of laughed it off. So I thought that was a good sign that she made a little mistake, but it seemed to kind of break her nerves a little bit, and then she just kept getting better. Her foot just missed the water on the rolling log.
How crazy was that?
Oh my God, it was like right there. And then her luck reversed on the disc runner. She made it all the way to the disc runner. Her foot just barely touched, right? Almost the same spot, just a little bit more, and she managed to tap the water.
Yeah, I'm really high up on this girl. I think she can go really, really far, especially with her accolades outside of American Ninja Warrior. You can definitely tell that she's going to do quite all right with a lot of these obstacles, especially the grip obstacles. And, man, she's only 21, I come to find out. 21, man. So she's just a kid. She's got so much time to grow. And if she's a friend of Megan Martin's, you know she's going to be training in the off-season. So I expect big, big things from her next year. She might get a wild card spot, but I think next year is where she's really going to shine. And, yeah, man, just really cool run. It's still unfathomable to me that she didn't touch that water the first time.
A little bit of luck goes a long way, too.
I guess.
And the next guy is one of my new favorite Instagram accounts, this James Carter. Strong like James, man. 275 pounds. And he moves like he's 112, right? He just bounces around everywhere.
Dude, he's more agile than me, man.
Yeah, I actually called. I don't normally bug my wife to watch the show because she isn't really into it, but I had to get her to come watch this guy, and she couldn't believe watching him bounce along the floating steps.
Dude, this guy is awesome. Like, really, really, really awesome. This guy is a star in the making, especially if he continues on the show. I wanted him to go, like, all the way so badly. I was screaming at my TV to keep going. Oh, my God, he's so fun. But I was worried for him in certain obstacles.
Yeah, the rolling log just seemed. It was the thing I thought. Of all the obstacles he could get for the second one, that seemed like the one that's really going to do him in, and it did.
Oh yeah, I mean that obstacle, man, that's brutal for somebody bigger sized.
So James, best of luck next year. We definitely love to see you come back.
Yeah, man, and shout out to his hops, man. He's hopping from one step to the other like a spider monkey. It was awesome.
Yeah, so if you want to follow him on Instagram, he's always posting videos like this. It's Strong Like James. Next was one of the ones I was most excited to see this season. It's Kirsty Pratt.
Yes.
The Machine. So excited to see her run the course. And she makes a very beautiful bride, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
So they showed her on her wedding day. She was doing she's doing everything, really. They showed her doing all these different obstacles in her wedding dress. Very supportive husband. Of course, we've heard him yelling at her in the past, encouraging her along the course.
Yeah.
Both on the show and off the show.
How much of a diehard do you have to be to, like, train American Ninja Warrior on your wedding day?
She's pretty diehard.
I would be so drunk on my wedding day, I couldn't even do a push-up, man. Like, props to her.
Oh, my gosh. She got... Getting to her run, I guess, she got whipped off that log. Like, did you see how hard she came down?
Yeah. Oh boy, I was worried, but she's so strong. I was really expecting her. Like, I was like, here we go. The next woman up the warped wall. Man. Like, weren't you expecting that?
Yeah, I thought she had it. as soon as she stepped on the course, I thought she had it.
Yeah.
I was just totally waiting for her to just make it official. And she did really well. She had a close call on the flywheels, and then she ended up falling on the swinging spikes. I thought at that point she had it. It sucks. I think she got a little tapped out from earlier, but it's hard to say. So, Kirsty, I know you listen to the show, so if you can clarify what happened there, was it was just an oversight? That would be great. We'd love to hear from you.
Oh, it's definitely an oversight. You can see it in the replay. She just misjudged the placement of her hand in the transition because she was looking at the next obstacle or the next peg. And I don't blame her. Actually, that's pretty common with technique of people. It just might have been something where she wasn't prepared for it because it's not something she trains on, I guess, for this particular course. But man, I was rooting for her, and I don't know, man. I'm gonna throw some shade at Brian Arnold. He knocked her out. What's up, Brian? You're just hating on everybody that's a fan of our podcast, huh?
Yeah, you know what? I can't talk bad about Brian because, man, I find they snubbed him this episode again.
Oh, we'll be talking about that because I have a lot to say about that. That was, we'll get to that. But,
yeah, but actually, this is the part where I actually noted like I always been giving them credit this season for not overhyping, but at this point, I made a note like, okay, Megan is running tonight. We get it. Like, oh my God, it's become that's so Megan. Like, this is just nuts.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. But I was really expecting this to be the coming out party for her, for Kirsty, right?
Kirsty.
Sorry, Kirsty. I was expecting this to really be the moment where she really cements herself as like one of the top-notch women to keep an eye out for. And I really feel like next time we see her, she's still going to do that. And I really hope they choose her for a wild card because I actually think she can get quite far in the Vegas finals.
Yeah, me too. I think that would be a good place for her to show what she can do. I really, really, really excited. I hope they do pick her to go. And but we'll find out.
Yeah.
Next we had Drew Knopp.
Don't you just want to say Knopp like when you read it?
Yeah, I do. I write everything phonetically underneath the actual spelling just so I can make sure I get them right or as best I can.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's the English major in me. Like it was bugging me every time they said Knopp, and that's her name. I can't judge, but I'm just like I want to say Knopp so bad.
Yeah, it's I liked the can't stop Knopp.
I guess I don't.
A little hashtag thing. So his brother has leukemia. And they were training together, and he did a great job, man. He chose the higher arch. When it came to that, I didn't realize what the difference was at first until we saw, I think it was Jake Murray do the lower arch later.
You saw the difference, right? Like there's a big
that's
difference.
A pretty big difference.
Yeah. Anybody that took that higher arch was definitely took the easier route. The side arch, for people that didn't notice it, the distance between pegs was insane, where they had a lot less pegs. And for an obstacle like that, the distance in pegs makes all the difference. You don't want wide gaps with the swings of the pegs because it's gonna just fatigue you more and more, and it's gonna be like just a lot harder for you. If you keep the L's and keep close, it's gonna be and keep closer to the center of your body. It's gonna be a lot easier for you. Man, I don't know why anybody would take that outside way.
You need to have some long arms, which Jake did, and he did it fine. But yeah, I think the upper one seemed to be the better way to go.
I'm sure he was hurting after that.
Yeah, so he does a handstand on the wall, a nice little flourish at the end.
Dude, this guy was really impressive. Like, I don't want to undersell it. Like, this guy was legit, man. First of all, he is ripped to the gills. Like, it's just like, I'm like, man, when he took that shirt off. But I guess I'm just, being a fan, a bro fan. But I love his video. I love his commitment to his brother. I really hope that we see his brother compete on the show when he's old enough. And I think they said he was planning to. So that'll be a really cool story, seeing these brothers compete. And yeah, he's definitely somebody we need to keep an eye out for too. I forget what they said, but he's definitely an athlete in some form of a way. So he definitely has some sensibilities in knowing his body as well.
So yeah, great job by Drew. Definitely somebody to watch. It was pretty much a flawless run. Like, there was nothing much to talk about. He just did a great job overall.
Mm-hmm. Get a better catchphrase.
You say he needs a better catchphrase?
Yeah. I know you like. I hate it.
Unknoppable. I don't know. What do you say for that?
I don't know. It's something better than that. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
The next person we had was Darren Witherspoon. He's 51, an auto worker. Man, he's in great shape. 51? You'd be kidding me.
51, an auto worker. You go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember this guy. I'm like, who?
Yeah, this guy. Yeah, he was he looked like about half his age. He ended up missing the flywheel, unfortunately, though.
Okay, yeah, the guy from the beginning. Okay.
Yeah, so unfortunately he didn't make it through. I like, I love the little puns. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes they get a little old, but I like the built Ford tough part. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was cute. I like this guy's story. I like any storyline, really, where we see somebody that's kind of older that just wants to give it a shot. They think they're still in their prime and they want to try the course. And I'm always rooting for them to go so far and everything. And I really appreciate it even more when they actually do well in the show, you know?
Yeah. So Darren looks like he'll be coming back, I would guess. He's phenomenal shape. I think he's still got a few years left in him, so we'll see him again next year, I bet.
Yeah. And he fell on one of the hardest obstacles there's been this season, so I can't really fault him for that.
But then next we had Jake Murray. It's funny because they note the careers, right? So it says wedding photographer, but that's so secondary to Jake. Like, he's so, the skateboarding thing kind of stands out a little more, and he's just crazy. He's really, really entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
We've seen him multiple times. We saw him in Team Ninja Warrior. Just a friend of Brian Arnold, so he's got that going for him too.
Yeah, but honestly, his accolades speak for himself. This guy is really entertaining, as you said, Rich, but he's really legit on the course too. And he's one of these deceptive people where we've seen him, twice now or 3 times with Team Ninja Warrior and everything. And every time he's impressive. I don't know. I think we're sleeping on him, man.
Yeah, I don't think we are so much anymore. Like, I think he's really proven himself. Like, he's pretty legit. He took the shorter, tougher path with that long reach, and we found out why you would go the other way. But he made it through with a fast time, and he had 2 minutes for the whole thing. That was way faster than anybody else up to that point.
Oh, yeah.
So Jake's another one to watch this season for sure. We'll get to see how he did in the city finals. And next we had Andrew Rue Yari. Yari? Sometimes my spelling's not so good. He's a dog rescue worker.
I'm remembering why I don't watch this show too far in advance. Because, like, you're naming his name, so I'm like, who again? Like, what? So I'm trying to catch up with you, man.
No problem. He's the guy that when they start chanting, is like, Roo, Roo, Roo.
Yeah, the dog guy.
Perfect. Like, it's awesome that his name's Andrew. That was cool.
Not just that, his story, man. Like, he rescued one of the dogs from who's that terrible football player's name?
Michael
I hate that
Vick.
guy. Oh, I hate that guy Michael so much.
Vick, yeah.
He was he rescued one of the dogs from Michael Vick, who honestly, like, even when the whole thing happened, I was like, those poor dogs, because they're going to have to be euthanized because they're so brainwashed at this point. But I'm really surprised he was able to save one of these dogs and retrain it, Such an awesome story. Oh, I love this guy.
Yeah, he rescued the other one and ended up making a world champion Frisbee dog team, like from a rescue dog. That is crazy.
What cute dogs too, right? Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not a dog person, but I did appreciate the story.
Shame on
anyway.
you. Shame on you. Dogs are awesome.
I got a dog here. Well, my wife has a dog.
Your wife has a dog?
Yes, my wife has a dog.
So you basically disown it, huh?
Something along those lines. It's probably in my spot right now as we speak.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, he did awesome, man. Like, he seemed like one of those guys that was there for the story, but no, he was legit. He made it all the way through. He did a great job.
Yeah. I don't know, not much to say about his run. It was pretty like, clear cut. But I think his storyline is going to speak more for him, at least in the beginning parts. Hope he keeps going.
Yeah, it's funny that the guys that that do well on the course make it harder to talk about, right? Because they just make it look like, yeah, this is how you do it. It's like they climbed a ladder and walked across a little ledge. It's almost unremarkable in that they make it look nearly easy.
Yeah. It's like mess up somewhere, all right? Like just a little bit so we can actually talk about it.
Yeah. We don't want you to fall in. Just make it look like you might.
Yeah.
So we had next Ricky Stenhouse Jr., one of the other drivers. I had written down Indy driver, but I guess he's a NASCAR driver. Not that I have any idea what the difference is.
I couldn't tell you. I'm sure there's plenty that could.
Oh, I'm sure there's somebody right now that's going, how can you not know the difference between Indy and NASCAR? I don't know. I guess the car is probably different.
And the names.
Yeah. Is having the name... Having Junior on the end of your name like a requirement for NASCAR or something? I'm not sure.
I don't know, but it's pretty common, huh?
Seems to be. And he ended up falling on the log, which I was a little surprised that they noted he had a CrossFit gym in his house. He was in pretty good shape. He seemed like he would go a little further, but...
Yeah, his legs were crossed and everything. I don't know. Just gave out on him. You know, the log group... I'm sorry to cut you off, but the log group's a really interesting obstacle. Because it's something where people really don't have it anywhere in ninja gyms, you know? So it's not something you can really train for. And it looks something, like, it seems so clear-cut. Like, I feel like I can do that obstacle, but I feel like there's a million people at home also saying, like, oh, I can do that. Just hold on for your dear life. But for how many people that fall on it that are in such good shape, it's got to be so incredibly difficult to hold on. Like, beyond what people can even probably imagine.
Yeah, that's one of those obstacles that even I look at and go, I might be able to do that. And then I watch them get whipped off of that thing, and I think, yeah, maybe I probably wouldn't want to do that. Next, we had Fred Thorne. This is the guy that is the husband of Maggie Thorne, who is on Spartan Race, and she's been on Ninja Warrior before. Mm-hmm. He's a teacher and a football coach. Man, he was really solid the whole way. They noted there was some moisture from the rain, so he had some trouble on the wall, or at least that's what they're blaming it on. So, I mean, normally they don't say that. Normally they don't even mention the rain and things like that. So it was interesting that this time they copped to the fact that the course was a little wet.
Yeah. And I feel like moisture and the rain has a lot to do with a lot of course, like just difficulty in general, right? Because, man, the grip strength that you have to have and like just attraction for all these obstacles, but then they're wet. That's got to be so incredibly difficult. This guy was a stud, and you know I'm big up on his wife as well. Like I think they're both the couple in general. They're really really good. Also, it was interesting. I know, Rich, you didn't weren't able to catch this, but they had a little preview of Spartan beforehand, and they brought out the hosts of the show, and it was just hilarious because the host, you have the one host that looks just like Matt Eisman, and another host that I guess fits the role kind of, Akbar. You know, I think it's more of they're wearing the same suits and everything, but both of these guys are shorter than them, so it's just funny because you just see American Ninja Warrior hosts just like looking down like at little brothers, you know. It's just like, okay, here, you know, we'll give you some airtime for your sideshow. That's cute, but I was impressed with the hosts. At least they had some charisma to them, it seems. So we'll see coming up if the Spartan show's any good, but I was impressed at least from like the few seconds I saw from the host of the show.
Yeah, it's funny because I end up staying up to watch the Spartan show, so I have seen it, and we'll be recording tomorrow or the next day. But I somehow missed this little segment in the middle of it. I think someone came in and talked to me at the time, and I just kind of totally blanked on these guys showing up on there. But I did get to see them on the show, so I will say that they did have good charisma. I thought the hosts were pretty good.
I'm interested in to see Spartan. I'm interested to see how it turns out.
So Fred did make it up on his third attempt, so that was great. And then we moved on to Zach Gowen. This is the one-legged wrestler guy. Like,
yes.
Oh my God.
This is my childhood right here. I was watching WWE when he was on it, and he was winning championships and everything, and they signed him. Oh, such a cool story. And wrestling and everything. To this day, I have no idea how this guy's knee is not completely shattered to shreds. Because he puts all of his weight and everything on that knee, and I'm just trying to like hike a mountain, and I'm already having knee pains. So I don't know how he does it.
Now, I have one complaint. If you can imagine how anyone could complain about this run, but I do have one.
Oh, yeah, I got to hear this.
Okay. My complaint is that they showed too much in the previews. Like, why did they show that? I would have loved to have gotten that run cold. If they had just shown him, like, making the hop under the first quintuple step, that would have been plenty for me to want to see the rest. And instead, I saw him spinning on that log multiple times in the previews leading up, so I knew he made it past the quintuple steps, and I knew it looked like he was going to finish that too. So why would... I don't know, it's just weird. Like, that would have been an epic moment if it hadn't been spoiled right from the previews.
That's why you don't watch previews, man. I didn't know that. I didn't watch previews at all. So let's just say, as somebody that didn't know the previews and everything, I was losing my mind watching this run. This run reminded me a lot of Casey Catanzaro's run. It was just something where you didn't expect much. It was a really cool story, but you're like, well, you know, they'll do decent. But I felt like this course was impossible for him to complete. And just at the very offset, you know, I didn't think he'd do any of the obstacles, especially one obstacle that would be absolutely impossible for him, which is that rolling log. No
Yeah,
way in hell
exactly.
could, like, I would pay so much money to say there's no way a person can do that with one leg. No way. And he did it, man. So this reminded me a lot of Casey Catanzaro. I'm really happy for the guy. He's such a good guy. And he's gonna be a star of this show. He is going to be. It's not even like he has to be or he might. He's going to be. What a cool run. Man, I loved it. And let's break down the run. I just realized we haven't even talked about the run, right?
Yeah, well, not fully. So he does the floating steps. He does it on one leg. So he takes off his art. We've had other people with artificial limbs on the show before. It's always amazing that they can do that. But this guy takes off his leg and runs it on just like hops from step to step, which was very amazing that he could do that, especially with that. Like, if it was the quintuple steps, it would have been impressive. The floating steps is amazing that he's able to even make that last transition to the rope.
And every time I'm terrified he's going to blow out his knee, man. Like, I don't know how his knee is surviving all of this. But he does it it's not that he just does it. He does it easily. It's not something where he's he's struggling to the point where he has one leg. But you'd imagine if you had one leg and doing this, you'd be all over the place. He knew what he was doing. He's really athletic, knowing his how to handle doing anything with one leg. So cool, man. But how'd you feel about when he's hopping over to the rolling log? That's where I was like, oh, this guy has zero chance.
Like I said, I kind of had it spoiled. I had a feeling he was going to do it because they made such a big deal of it. You won't believe what happens. And it shows him. I thought, he's going to actually make it past that log. And then my mind went to crazy places because I'm like, okay, so if they showed that, like, oh my God, he's going to do, I'm already looking past that. I'm going, he's going to beat the flywheels. Oh my God. How is he going to do? And I'm doing every obstacle after that. I'm trying to figure out, could he do it? Could he make it up the warped wall? I don't see how he can make it up the warped wall. I'm getting way ahead of myself.
But at this point, who knows? Because I gave him zero chance of ever doing that rolling log. So I don't know. Maybe there's some crazy way he can find a way up that warped wall. I don't see it, but who knows?
Yeah, I have no idea. Like, it would be amazing. Like, it would be mind-blowing. But yeah, I have no idea. But just every obstacle he did was very, very cool to see. So good on him. I really was hoping to see him do the flywheels.
Dude, that would be so cool. Yeah, now thinking about it. What was it, the disc runner? That's the one where I'm like, how is he going to do that?
How? But then, like you said, the one that you really would have just immediately thought is there's no way he can do the log grip, but he did.
Yeah.
Or not the log grip, the rolling log. So a great story. Loved seeing it. And then speaking of great stories, next we had Michael Stanger, who I didn't expect to see featured again so quickly. Like, I love that they did. I was really excited to see him.
Well, this was interesting because when they started doing this story again with his wife, I was like, oh God, again, this is what I don't like, where they kind of like milk, story to death. I hate to use that term, but, but then my heart broke when he said, and it's kind of revealed the reason they're going back to the story is because his children have it now, and you see him playing with his daughters and everything, and then you see the juxtaposition or the parallel with his wife, and you're like, these poor girls are going to go through what his wife is going through, and that really broke my heart.
Yeah, when they said that, I'm hoping. I mean, it was, not that I'm hoping that for anybody, but I'm hoping it's that they have the genetic markers and that someday they'll. I'm hoping it doesn't mean that they have it now.
Yeah, I wasn't. I guess I didn't check enough to know what they said.
They didn't specify. They just said that they had it, but I think that's probably what they mean. That when you have a condition like that, they would check the kids to see if they have the markers that they could get it someday. And it sounds like that's probably what they found. I'm hoping that's what it was.
Man, either way, like just knowing that could be a possibility for those poor girls' future, man, that's rough. But it just makes you want him to beat it more. So it was incredibly effective, this particular video. I'm glad they went back to it. At the beginning, I was down on it, but then when I realized that it really wasn't about his wife as much as it's about his whole entire family now and him dealing with this, you have to feel for the guy.
Strangely, one of the great things about this show is you have the ups and downs through the whole episode, right? There's times where you're laughing, there's times where you're really upset. And right within his one story, we went from one extreme to the other, right? He has some pretty good skills, man. He is not, he was doing really well. He ended up falling off on the disc runner. But then his daughter, who we were just so sad about a second ago, was awesome in the interview. Totally stole the show, made me laugh. Because she just comes out with the, Christine says something like, you know what, I'm sure you probably wish you could do better or something. And the daughter is like, hey, he still got to the fourth obstacle. He did great. Like, totally gave her a hack for it.
How awesome is that, man?
Yeah, I loved her. I thought it was great. Because he did do awesome. That's pretty good.
I think we're going to see him again, but it scares me because, one of the, like, what's next for, like, the bad news of this poor guy's, like, family, like it's going to be something else next year, and I'm just going to be like, oh my God, this poor guy, he can't catch a break. I really hope we get some uplifting news next time we see him. I don't know how it could be, though. Like, is there a cure for this particular disease? I don't think there is, right?
No.
Yeah.
That was the thing. So I was actually just, maybe I had my expectations too low. I was just happy to see that she was still around, that he was, they were still together and everything. So, so that was at least one bright note that, because they kind of made a big deal last year that, this may be her one chance to see it, right? Anyway, maybe we've kind of gone up and down a lot this episode.
What else is new?
Yeah. So then the Towers of Power were fast-forwarded, which I thought was kind of...
Quite a few people were fast-forwarded, let's just say that. But
Yeah, they're really featuring the new people, for sure.
Yeah, I have a theory about this particular one. Was this the part where they skipped the Wolfpack as well?
No, that was a little bit later.
Okay. I'll go into it more with the Wolfpack, but I have a theory of what's going on.
Next was actually Elio... Oh, boy. Castronoves? We'll go with that.
Better. The NASCAR guy.
Yeah, NASCAR. The other Indy driver. Not NASCAR, Indy. He's an Indy driver.
Whatever.
Who also won Dancing with the Stars. His shoes went flying off on the log, which made me laugh. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. It's funny. He won Dancing with the Stars. What do you think about his little dance at the beginning? I was not impressed. I was like, what?
I didn't even notice. Like, he does a little dance before he started the course, or...
Yeah, it wasn't all that legit. But who knows? Maybe it was just off the fly. Whatever.
So he ended up going out on the flywheels. I thought he was going to get past it. They seemed to pump him up quite a bit. I thought maybe he was going to be the one that went further than anybody.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing, especially about the fact that he won Dancing with the Stars. You have to imagine he's got some athletic background. But I can't blame these guys. I mean, you have to imagine they've never trained on any of these obstacles, so them getting as far as they did was impressive enough.
Yeah, I thought they all did pretty solidly. I mean, there was no... I said it seemed gimmicky at the beginning, but I really had no problem with it in the end. I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah, and it is a gimmick. I mean, it brings in a new audience, but I don't really have an issue with it. Because it's not like they spent like 20 minutes hyping these guys up or anything.
And then was the main event of the night. Megan Martin She had her mom at the qualifier for the first time, which I thought was a little odd. I would have thought the very first time her mom would have been there, but I guess
Right.
not.
Yeah, maybe her mom, like, did they say if her mom lives somewhere else or something, or a reason why she never went to any of her performances?
Well, she has been to her performances, just not the qualifiers. That was the thing.
Oh.
So she has seen her in Vegas and stuff, but she just hasn't seen her at the qualifier.
Well, I guess that's understandable, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, just probably conflicts of some kind. But man, she hit her face on the flywheel. I thought, something was going to go wrong there for a second. She looked pretty nervous on the disc runner, and she missed the wall the first time. That was when I was getting a little, like, uh-oh, what's going on now? But she did make it, so she's made it the third time, and she was the Palm Wonderful run of the night.
Well, these are new obstacles for her, and you have to imagine ninjas that train all the time, when they reach new obstacles, they have to be extra careful and probably extra nervous, because this is kind of going into it. They're already confident that they can hit particular obstacles easily, or at least they have that sensibility, right, or confidence. You have to imagine their confidence are kind of shaken whenever they're going up to a new obstacle.
Yeah, but man, she's good. Like, every time I think maybe they're overhyping her, or maybe we're building her up too much, she proves that she's unbelievably good at this. Especially, she trains with the Wolfpack, and of course she takes it pretty seriously, but not as seriously. She said that she doesn't train as hard for this as you would think. Like, it's she is a climber, so she gets that background and stuff, and she does train somewhat, but I've really gotten the impression from her multiple times that it's not like the focus of her training in her life.
Yeah, but you know what? That's probably a good thing. It's always good to have a diverse palette of just hobbies and athletic feats. If you're just training Ninja Warrior, it's almost harder for you to, I guess, address new obstacles, because your body might not be properly prepared for it. I see it both ways, because obviously there's the Drew Dreschels out there that train American Ninja Warrior all year and do great, right? But there is also people like JJ Woods this one year that, fell in the second obstacle, and it's like, oh man, that sucks.
So there we had it, our Palm Wonderful run of the night. And it wasn't the last run, so I was
about
kind
to
of
say,
annoyed.
man, isn't that good?
It was good in the end, because they fooled me. I thought, okay, so here we go. It's not the end of the night. Got the Palm Wonderful. Then they fast forwarded Ian and Brian just to get under my skin a little bit more. And in the process, Kirsty gets bumped from the top 30, and ending the episode on this huge down note. I'm like, oh, come on. What else do you got now? And then Lauren Ball's running. So I was like, okay, so now we get Lauren falling because he didn't get Palm Wonderful. We know he's going to have the fastest time if he completed it. But he did complete it, and he did get the fastest time. They just said, yeah, we like Megan better, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't mind that at all. It keeps the Palm Wonderful non-spoilerish. I was really shocked that Lauren Ball was the last person to run. I would have guaranteed Megan Martin was. Who saw Lauren Ball? No offense to Lauren Ball, but I don't know. He's not on the same level in terms of namesake as Megan Martin. And Lauren Ball is very famous with his free running accolades, but still nowhere near Megan Martin.
They always show Lauren right at the end, actually. Him and I think Ellen Hall usually, just to see, because they know.
Yeah, they're the free running guys.
They're going to be the fastest time. You just want to, let them run at the end.
Still, I would have put Megan Martin, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I actually thought she was going to end up being the last run.
Yeah.
Just because of the way they're going on the whole episode.
You know what shocked me? I did not know this, and I've watched every season of American Ninja Warrior. They said he competed in every single season of American Ninja Warrior. Lauren Ball. I had no idea. I must really be sleeping on this guy, because he only came in my peripheral vision, I guess, the past maybe 4 seasons, but apparently he's been here since day one.
Yeah, I thought I misheard that. But yeah, they must have said it. Have you heard it too?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Because you always see David Campbell and all them, the OGs, right? Lauren Ball, I guess he's one of the OGs as well. But let's go back to what you said a little bit earlier before Lauren Ball. They skipped over the Wolf Pack. And before that, they skipped over the Towers of Power as well. How do you feel about this?
It's bad enough when they skip over them. Do you realize... I should actually note the names. There's a bunch of people that, at least they got the fast forward. Do you realize how many people we've actually missed along the way who didn't even get the courtesy of a fast forward little clip?
I'm sure. Ugh.
There's some big names, like people that we know.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they were just no names that failed.
No, I mean like Alan Keneally, Dan Yeager.
They didn't even get a shout out, huh?
No, Dan Yeager was in this one here, finished the course, good time and everything. Didn't even get a fast forward. Just don't even mention them.
That's so weird because these are names that it's not just that they competed. They competed just a few months ago on Team Ninja Warrior. And this is the bigger one. The winner of Team Ninja Warrior, the team captain of the winning team from Team Ninja Warrior, is skipped over. What? What's going on here? I seriously thought this year was going to be the coming out year for Brian Arnold, where they're going to hype this guy up to the gills again, being like, yo, he went the fastest 1 year from American Ninja Warrior. He just won Team Ninja Warrior. This guy's on a roll, and he's about to skyrocket through, right? I thought he was going to be the last. I seriously thought he was going to be the last run, because Megan Martin was there. I was like, well, Brian Arnold or Ian Dory's going to be the last one. Probably Brian Arnold. But no, they skipped both of them. Now, I do have a theory of what's going on with these particular people that are being skipped over. And my theory is that they go far. And I mean they go really far. They go to Vegas, where they feel like the first episode during the qualifiers, they hype up news stories and everything. During the finals or the opening episode of the Vegas stage 1 is when we're going to get the hype videos for them, because it'll mean a little bit more because we're getting closer to the end, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the qualifiers are where they have that leeway, right? I mean, they already know who did well in the city finals, so they can, they can feature Brian prominently if he does really well in the city finals, which I'm sure he will.
Yeah, I think both Brian and Ian are going to Vegas. I also think the Towers of Power are going to Vegas. And I think that's why they skipped over them, because I think the producers looked at everything and they're like, we can give them the shine later on, because they're going to be shown a whole lot more. I think that's what's going on. So if you do see somebody predominantly well-known that's skipped, it might be spoilerish, but my guess is that they go to Vegas.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. We'll see in a few weeks when we get back here for the city finals. But, of course, Vegas hasn't been filmed yet, so we don't know how far they've gone, and the producers don't know. It's kind of the nice thing about this stage of it, because they're hyping up without knowing who did well in Vegas, right? So when it comes time for city finals, they can kind of tailor the episodes to tell the story of who did well in Vegas and try to, build some hype for that. So I swear I read too much into the production of this stuff, but
I think
it's just how I feel, right?
I think you kind of have to. I mean, everybody does. There's a whole winner's edit and Survivor, and there's a bunch of different things. I think it's just part of the course, Yeah.
So that was the end of the episode. Anyway, I liked it. I thought it was a good episode.
Loved it.
Yeah, it wasn't quite up to the first one, maybe. Actually, it probably was. It was better than the second episode for sure.
Yeah. Well, that second episode I didn't like very much, looking back. The course, I feel like, was stronger than the first episode. I think the first episode still had the best stories out of all of them, but this episode was incredibly strong. I loved it. Loved it.
All right, so moving on, we had another viral. It's actually like a sequel to a viral video that we had before. I'm surprised it worked a second time, but so the T-Rex viral video. It was really cool to see it again on the official course, because we did see Rico Rivera put out a video back, and I think it was the fall, of him doing the ninja course in a T-Rex outfit. Like a really big inflatable thing that you would think you would never be able to do the course in.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just saw a T-Rex, man.
That's true. Yes, it was an actual T-Rex. You could hear it. So, I mean, it must have been a T-Rex.
Its name was Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it made the noises. I loved everything about this damn video. The T-Rex noises, the little tiny arms swinging from every single thing, the flailing head of the T-Rex. Oh, I loved it. Everything about it. And I could not believe how far this T-Rex got. I thought the T-Rex was going to fail on like the first or second obstacle, but it got far, man. Oh, I loved it so much.
Yeah, 36 million years in the making. You know, it's had a lot of time to train, so...
Man, it was pretty yoked for its, you know, for all the training, too. I will say this. I am completely shocked they didn't show this on the show.
Yeah, me too. I really don't understand why they didn't show it.
Yeah, like, this would have been all over everything. Like, it's still probably viral online and everything, but it had such a chance of just being huge if they just featured it on the show. And this is the kind of stuff they love for the show. So I really don't know what was going on with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's already getting millions of views, right? It didn't need the show to become viral. They've seen it go viral before, so I guess they just knew the potential was there to do it again.
I guess.
What's funny about this is, I don't know about you, I'm guessing it's probably the same with you, but I am synonymous with American Ninja Warrior now with all the friends and family and everything. So I'm getting like tagged on these videos. I'm getting people stopping me at work. Like, it's only been a day or two. I'm going to be hearing about this for weeks to come, I think, of people just going, did you see the T-Rex? Did you see the T-Rex?
I literally was bothered about 5 times in the past 24 hours about the T-Rex video.
So it works. Viral videos do work.
Yes. Oh, the T-Rex video and the I forget his name, the one-legged guy. 3 times for that guy.
I guess that's just comes with the territory, and I'm sure the ninjas out there probably get the exact same thing. Everything that comes up with ninja, everybody's got to tell them about it.
Mm-hmm.
So the next video we had was the 24 before, which is quickly becoming one of my new favorite series. We had Megan Martin, the 24 hours before her run of the course. What'd you think of it?
I liked it. We got some Noah Kaufman. We got some Brian Arnold. We got Megan Martin's whole routine beforehand. I don't know. I liked a lot about it. What was your initial take about it?
I really liked it. Like I said, her going over to Noah's house to train, and you could hear them like encouraging her and giving her like little challenges and stuff to push her. I think that's the only way you can really truly prepare for these courses is to have that kind of a training team. Somebody else, a partner, someone to push you and to challenge you like that. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and this whole training course that they built, is this in Noah Kaufman's house, or where is this?
Yeah, it's at Noah's house.
Man, props to Noah, man. Good job on building that. It was pretty legit. What was that crazy workout that she did for the invisible ladder? I mean, she did 30 reps of that. That is insane. That looked so difficult.
Yeah, that must be brutal in the arms. You can see the look on her face, like when he said, like, I don't think she wanted to do it, but she did.
She's like, really?
But yeah, and then she went and stayed at her... I just love this little personal touch of the whole thing, right? She goes and stays at her aunt's and uncle's house. Suzanne and Tim, that's a nice house, man. I really like that house.
Mm-hmm. I like how she goes into the nervousness associated with having the course wet from the rain and everything involved with that, where you're planning all year about running this course, and then the rain comes, and it just accentuates the difficulty tenfold.
Yeah, so even just the forecast, like, just you don't think of that, but the day before, they're looking to the weather, and they're trying to, like, prepare, and they're going, oh, geez, it's going to be wet, so I got to... And stressing over that, right? Like, it makes sense. And then they end up with a 2-hour rain delay. You get yourself all mentally prepared to run the course at a certain time, and it's all getting delayed, and it's just... it sounds like a nightmare, actually.
Yeah, it's terrifying, man. I mean, I've had to train for Spartans where I come to find out just the week before that it might rain, like really storm hard right beforehand, and that's all you can think about leading up to it, and it just takes a toll on you mentally. So for this course, I feel for her. I'm glad it seemed as though they were able to just like have her run the course when the rain stopped. At least there was that.
Yeah, and they're wiping it all down, everything. But like she said, they can't get it perfectly dry, right? It's going to be a little slippery.
Oh, it's going to be moist.
I'm sure.
But just rewatching it now, thinking about it, this whole past episode, I didn't really notice rain in the background. So I think they just had competitors run when it didn't rain, right?
Yeah, which they've had to do that before, and some of the competitors get tripped up by it. Like from what I understand, that's why so many of the big names failed on the body prop, as it was all wet. It was the moisture and stuff made it impossible last year. It's same region too, right? The Wolfpack all got nailed on the body. Almost all of them got nailed on the body prop.
Can you imagine the body prop wet? Man, I don't even know how you do that with it wet.
I just don't think you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Megan, part of her routine is to straighten her hair. I mean, at first play, I thought she looked different for a second. Didn't even clue in that her hair was curly, which we hadn't seen before. So then she showed herself straightening her hair on the day of the competition. Just those little things you don't think of, right? Like, she wants to look good for the show. I mean, it is a show on top of everything else. You're going to be on TV, so you have to worry about your appearance. What are you going to wear? What are you going to...
Well, she's beautiful no matter what. I think it's more of her feeling comfortable. I think she referenced it in some different types of wording, but with my experience with my girlfriend and everything, you just feel a little bit more confident. Just and however you feel comfortable or confident in. And I think that's her way of just feeling comfortable and confident.
So yeah, I'm loving these 24 before. Can't wait to see who it is next week.
It's got to be Casey Catanzaro, right?
Not necessarily. Yeah, it's probably Casey.
I think it's Casey Catanzaro.
Well, they've done 2 girls and 1 guy so far. I would think it'd be another guy, but maybe not.
I mean, they definitely could do somebody different. I will be shocked if it's not Casey Catanzaro.
It'll be Brent, and then he'll have lots of video of Casey. So,
it's interesting. They featured Casey in the preview and everything, but not Brent. Do you think he might be running differently in a different area?
No, I don't imagine. But yeah, the next thing we had was the crashing the course, the disc runner. Now, I liked last week's, and I thought, I thought it had potential, and then this one, I wasn't a big fan of the disc runner one.
No, you don't say. He didn't really. I don't know. I think the big problem with this particular series is it could be cut in half and just have all the substance that they still had. There's a lot of filler content in the series.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of neat seeing the headquarters of of where they built the prototypes of the obstacles. That was kind of cool, and the fact that the disc runner was inspired by this Swedish playground thing, which actually I wanted to see more of that. The little kid running on this crazy disc thing was pretty neat. Mm-hmm. But then it gets into the he's going to try it, and I actually did want to see how he did on it.
It's staged though, man. I think that's the big problem, is that the second half of these videos, it always takes me out of it just because it comes off so staged.
Yeah, where Casey pops up with a towel, like, "Hey, you actually were being watched." Like, okay.
Yeah, not just that. Like, do you think he's fully trying these obstacles, like going crazy? I felt like last episode might be the one where he might have tried really hard, but I don't really think he's going too particularly hard on these obstacles, like this episode and the first one.
I think he tried them. I think that was a legit try, but I could be wrong.
I don't think so. I think there is a clear understanding for him, like, don't complete this obstacle because it'll make it look easy. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, now that you say that, you know what? Thinking about how he did that, yeah, you're probably right. He probably took a nosedive.
Where he kicks as hard as he can behind him so he can fly and epically splash into the water.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would think that's smarter. That's a smart thing to do.
I guess I got to look at it from a perspective of somebody who's in shape and a little knowledgeable, because that's probably how I would fall on the thing, but he probably could do a little better than that if he tried.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you rewatch it and how he does it, he just kicks so hard underneath where he basically is like, yeah, I'm going to just do a front flip in the air doing this. But hey, maybe this guy just has terrible, terrible technique.
It's possible. So yeah, I do like Alex, so I'm hoping the next one will be a little better again. But we'll see. We'll keep watching them, and we'll keep letting you know whether they're worth watching or not.
Yeah, this series, more than the other one, is very hit or miss. We've had some diamonds, and we've had some rough ones.
Yeah. But the 24 before is good every week, so definitely check that out. We'll link them all in the show notes, of course, as always.
Mm-hmm.
So that is it for this week. If you're looking to train for the show and you want to buy some climbing holds, definitely stop by our website. That's ninjapodcast.com. We have a link for Atomic climbing holds, and if you use our discount code of podcast, you can save yourself 10% off your purchase. So as I mentioned last week, we are doing a little thing where we're posting pictures of where we listen to our podcasts at. Bijan and I have posted ours, and we'd really appreciate if you guys could give us a little shout out on Instagram. Tag us in it. Just show us a picture of something on your desk, or if you're out for a walk or whatever. I'd be really interested to see where everybody's at when they're listening. It would really help the show out a lot, and we'd really appreciate it. And if you'd like, you can email us your address, and we'll send you a postcard as a thank you. But you don't have to do that either. We just love to hear from you.
So where can they do that at?
So if you'd like to email us, you can reach us at rich@ninjapodcast.com. We are on Instagram, Twitter, and everywhere else as Ninja Podcast. And Bijan's got his own personal one that he can toss in here now.
Yeah. Find me on Twitter and Instagram now at Bijan151. That's BIJAN 151.
So thank you all for listening. In a couple days, we'll be posting our Spartan review, and I hope you'll join us for that too. Yeah, Bijan's really excited to see that one, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll finally get to cover that. I imagine those episodes will be a lot shorter, just because the episodes themselves are a lot shorter. But we'll see how it goes. So talk to you then.
Peace.